Okay, hey, welcome to the weekly Inside Real Estate Success Strategies webinar. Today we have a guest, Brian Hoylman, the Chief Strategy Officer here at Inside Real Estate. I've known Brian a long time, and every time I've seen him do the presentation he's going to do today or talk about this topic, it's really gone over well with the audiences he's been in front of. Right, Brian? I know you've done this one a lot.
Yeah, I've done this for many years now, from Inman to internally through at conventions. You know, people take out their video camera, they're on their cell phones, they start videotaping it. It's received very well.
Good. So the topic, as everybody can see on the screen, is power scripts. And Brian, I'm going to kind of let you just tell me where you want me to go on the screen here and take it over.
Why don't we just go through a couple slides, start talking through this? I mean, I can view this, but we can then jump into the dashboard and we'll talk a little bit about it. So in the dashboard, we have a script section we'll show you in a second. What we're really going to be talking about is agents struggle with how they convert leads. And we'll talk a little bit about this in the beginning. And go to the next script, next agenda slide. And then we'll be talking about a few things of why, I'll cover all of this, why agents struggle with don't establish reciprocity, and kind of they approach leads with the wrong intention from the very beginning, Ryan. And so what we really need to do is level the playing field so every lead falls into a certain bucket. So before you call the lead, you know something about it without ever talking to the lead. You have something that's going to promote reciprocity, and we'll talk a little bit about these concepts before we go into the script. So that's kind of what I want them to know. So if we could just pull up a dashboard real quick and show everybody on the call today where they can go and access some scripts, and specifically the scripts we're going to be talking about. So if we click on the support portal and we type in power scripts or scripts just in general.
Okay, so the support portal is over down on the left side of the dashboard here.
Yep, and right
and
there.
Then I'm going to go in here. Scripts.
Yep, they click on it. All they got to do is write scripts in, and it pulls up. The specific script we're going to be talking about today is the corrective statement script. This is something I've developed many years ago. For companies from lenders to agents, it doesn't matter the approach, ISAs, across the board, this works. Typically, I see about a 90+% consultation rate on every single phone call, Ryan. So as long as the agents follow this process that we're about to talk about, almost every single call they make, no matter whether the lead intends to buy, they get into a consultation and a positive interaction and a process to proceed with a potential client. So this is a very powerful and effective way that agents can increase their production, both as agents, team leaders, ISAs. It doesn't matter, lenders, they can all use this script effectively. And what it's really doing is pretty much putting them in a position to create reciprocity on every call. Let's talk a little bit about reciprocity and the overall problems that agents face when they call leads. Does that sound good?
Sure. So this is this slide here, why agents struggle with lead conversion. I'll also mention, Brian, that I've sent everybody in the chat window a link to these slides. I hope that's all right.
Perfect.
Yeah. So you guys can follow along there as well.
So when we think about leads and agents, when they approach leads, they want leads that are high intent, leads that are ready to buy now. And if anybody ever finds a place where we can just get those types of leads or whatever, I mean, let's just face it, Ryan, we could invest a lot of money in that company, because that secret thing that doesn't exist out there, the unicorn, I'd love for that to be the case. Essentially, you're going to have friends, family, Sphere, all those people go to Zillow, all those people go to Google. You're going to have Google leads. You're going to have every type of lead in the gamut, right? And whether they want to buy now or later, 80% of leads aren't going to buy until year 2 when they come in, not year 1 anyways. You see where I'm going with this? And you know this. You've been doing this a long time.
Yeah, so for number one, I'm just going to echo back what you're saying. A lot of agents expect a lead to be like a warm referral that's been earned. Generally you have to work to get that.
Or just the lead clicked on your website, looked at a property and said registered, and you saw they looked at the property. It doesn't mean they want to buy that property. They're just looking at properties for sale. I mean, it's the second most searched thing on the internet. I won't talk what the most searched thing is. So the reality is that people just like looking at pictures of houses, and your friends and family do too. And agents do, by the way. All the agents listening in, when a new home goes on the market in their neighborhood, what do those agents do? They look up the listing in the MLS, right?
Yeah.
They want to see what it looks like. So consumers are all in different stages. And so what we're trying to do is all leads come in a certain time frame. And what we're trying to do is find leads that have intent. I intend to buy a house someday. I'm not just looking to look at pictures. I actually have intent. So agents then can put them in the right bucket based on that intent to close them, which promotes reciprocity. The reciprocity means that I'm doing something for you, Ryan, so you're obligated to do something for me. That makes sense to everybody that's listening in? It's the key to everything.
It's actually been quiet. If you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to chat us. If you want to just let us know you can hear us fine, we usually do that. Oh, Jeffrey, that's a good point. Jeffrey's saying the link went straight to the docs, and that is my fault for not sharing this publicly. I apologize. Annalisa usually has that part. So I'll do that so everybody can definitely view and see the document that I shared. All right, Brian, sorry to disrupt you there, but yeah,
that's okay. So Jeffrey, if you're coming in reciprocity is the key. So if someone were to sneeze and I say, God bless you, Ryan, what would they say back? Thank you, right?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's just the way humans exist, okay? So if you go onto a car lot and you look at a car and the person comes on the lot, looks around, goes up to you, I'm just browsing, like, right? Everybody hears this. And then they leave the lot. And then you think, oh, that lead's not very good. And then three weeks later, that person comes back to the same lot with their wife, but you're at lunch, Ryan. Do you think they're going to reach out to you, reach to the sales manager and say, hey, I was talking to Ryan in last 3 weeks ago? Probably not, Ryan. They're going to buy whoever's on the lot, whatever sales rep, right?
Only if they're a commission salesperson themselves. But yeah, most people don't think like that, right?
No, they don't. So the reality is, if you put reciprocity in that person's mind, they can go to Zillow, they can go to every other website, get the exact property for sale at the exact time. So reciprocity is the key to lead conversion. This is a very important factor as we move into the script, okay? So, and they don't establish value. So all this breeds around reciprocity. I call a lead, I offer them no value. Hi, Ryan, I just called and I saw you looked at a property on 123 Main Street. Do you have any questions? Would you like me to send you some information on this property? What's the answer that's going to come back every time?
No, I'm just looking.
I'm just looking. And then the agent thinks that's what type of lead?
It's crap. The leads are weak.
Right. So we're going to go through. So step one is I want to establish value on every call. So we have to approach leads differently. So Ryan, when we think about lead gen, every single lead falls into two categories, not buyer or seller. Everybody listening, get rid of that. A buyer is somebody that actually can buy a house, that's been pre-qualified, that has intent to buy a house, and is ready to has financing and everything in place. So Ryan, if you got 1,000 leads on the internet this week alone, how many people would actually fall into that exact category? Not very many, right? Maybe 5%, maybe a few. But every one of those leads is either a homeowner or renter. So a large percentage of people shopping online are homeowners looking for their next house they want to buy. So they are a seller because they want to buy a new house. So sellers are people that are buyers and own a house. Does that make sense, Ryan?
It totally does. So two types of leads. The new paradigm is not buyer or seller. They're either homeowners or renters.
Or renters. That's it. We're not targeting the homeless.
Yep.
You know, they're not online. Trust me, somebody who's homeless is not on Zillow. Okay? So every single lead that you get, friend, family, person you know, new lead, internet lead, is a homeowner or a renter, and we don't know when they intend to sell, and we don't know when they intend to not rent. 33% of renters don't even know they can buy. They don't know they can buy. So in other words, every lead falls into a value prop that every agent should be able to be an expert at. If they're a homeowner, I can be an expert at that. If they're a renter, I can be an expert at that. Make sense, Ryan? I can offer them value. So the goal of the first call is to find out whether they're either a homeowner or renter so you could put them in the right bucket. Okay? Any questions about that, guys, before we move on? Because we're about to go into the script.
Yeah, it looks good, Brian. No questions so far.
I got a hand that raised. If that's an important question, let me know. All right, Ryan, you're going to be my guinea pig for this, and you're going to let me know, be that consumer, that buyer, that person, that shopper, whatever you want. You're on the website. You were on Zillow, Realtor.com. You came on. You got funneled in. I got a notification. I got a brand new lead. I don't know anything about you. I'm just calling you for the first time, okay?
I didn't know there'd be a test, but okay, let's do it.
All right. Hey, Ryan, I noticed you're on my website today, and I wanted to introduce myself. I'm Brian. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Hey, the reason I'm calling is I'm putting a list of properties together based on what you looked at, and I had a really quick question. I'm going to let you, and then I'm going to let you go. You're a renter, right?
Yeah, actually I am.
Great. I do a special consultation for renters where I show them what their rent power is versus their buy power. Obviously, since you're renting and you're shopping online looking at houses, I'm assuming you want to buy a house someday, correct?
Yes, someday. I don't know that I'm ready now, but yeah, we eventually do.
Right. So there's obviously three obstacles that come in renters' path. One is either credit repair, down payment issues, or you're in a lease. But if obviously if you're renting, you're probably spending what, $2,000 a month on rent.
Yeah, it's around that. It's actually a little more. Yeah.
Actually, so you can afford to buy a house in today's market. It's just a question is there's maybe obstacles. Of those three that I mentioned, what's the biggest obstacle that's preventing you from, purchasing, obviously, if in a perfect world?
Yeah, I paid an electric bill late, like 3 years ago, so I think I have a low credit score.
All right, so what I like to do is put you onto obviously credit, building program. We offer that. I can get you over. Let's schedule a time, and you'd be amazed on how easy it is, because you don't want to be locked into a rent, a year from now when property values go up, and then you have to spend more on the house, higher payment. You end up getting less of a house than you can get today. Maybe you're not going to buy a house in that market, so you're stuck waiting around for the market to drop down for the next 3 years. You don't want to be in that situation when all the barriers today. You have get into a house that's with a 640 credit score. There's down payment assistance programs less than $1,000 out of pocket. There's debt to income ratios that you can do as 50% that used to be 33%. You probably didn't know any of that, did you?
No, I knew some of that, but yeah, I
See,
yeah, I guess
so
I'd like to. Yep.
This guy's mine. That's
Right.
on every call. And everything about this call is reciprocity. He's on a path. His intent is irrelevant. Does that make sense, Ryan? Your intent to buy now was irrelevant to me. You were a renter, and I wanted to offer value, so you're more likely to use me because I'm providing you value.
Yep, makes sense. Yep.
Can we go to the back end so we can show them the script, because I want to go through the actual science behind this. And also, if he said I'm a homeowner, and they're going to want to know that, Ryan, they're going to say, what if it's a homeowner, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
let's pull up the script real quick, and we'll go through it again
statement.
one more. Yeah, corrective statement, correct.
Okay.
And I've done this with agents across the board, and the ones that use it, they come back to me and they hug me at the conferences and say, this changed their business, this changed. I have a person that I went to a mastermind group for teams, and someone presenting to the teams happened to be a team leader with an ISA program. He didn't even know I was in the room, and he went over scripts, and he said, this is the best script I've ever used in the business, and he started talking about my script, didn't even know I was in the room. Okay?
Nice.
So what we're going to talk about when we go through this is really quick. So let's go back and shift this again, where if I said, hey, nice to meet you, Ryan. Great.
Yep.
You're a homeowner, right? It could be a renter, right? And all we're doing is using a corrective statement. So let's say that you said, no, I'm a homeowner. Just kind of start there.
Yeah, I actually own a house. Yeah.
That's great. So I do a special consultation for homeowners where I show you what your list power is versus your buy power. It's called a list power analysis. Have you ever had anything like that?
No.
Okay, we're going to stop there because a list power analysis is nothing more than a CMA. But my agents that use list power analysis rather than that get a far better result. by calling it a list power analysis. I made that up a few years ago. My agents love it that use it. Again, I was at convention saying I use that. I've gotten more listing appointments. I use it in my emails, list power analysis.
Do people ask what it is? I mean, I just said,
yeah.
no. Yeah, they ask what is that? Yeah.
And it's more powerful than, and it's nothing more than you giving them what their value is at versus what they can buy in the marketplace. It's exactly what a homeowner wants. But it sounds much better than a CMA because they don't know what that means. To give you a little. So again, the point being is all I need to know is the homeowner. He's going to want a list power analysis, and he's going to want to know when he can buy versus, because it doesn't matter whether he intends to sell. He's looking for homes for sale, and he's a homeowner. You can't get better than that.
Yeah, that's one of the, a lot of people ask us in the advertising department here at Inside Real Estate, can I get seller leads? And my standard response is, yeah, but the most efficient way is just drive that buyer traffic. And as you're saying, you're either going to hit homeowners or renters anyway, and about half of them are going to be homeowners in a lot of markets.
And that is true seller marketing for everybody listening in. This is why this script is so important. What we're trying to do is find out one, path A or path B. It affects everything you do beyond that. This is my renters. These are my homeowners. I know exactly how to follow up with them. I've identified them from day one, and I know exactly what to do. And believe it or not, Ryan, very few or any teams are doing this. They're going out and saying, hi, how can I help you? I saw you looked at this property. Do you have any questions about it? How can I help you? What's can I do? Like their customer service reps. It's not your job.
I'll admit, that's the approach I've always taken. And that works if you're consistent on some level. But it sounds like what you're giving here is a way for things to work better, a lot better. And I love the idea here that you're calling out seller leads from doing the buyer and renter focused activities. Because
you get a value on every single call. You have value. So let's go through the script and talk about the science.
Yeah. And also, I don't know if you're going to get to this, but another thing that's popping to mind is once you know renter or homeowner, using the smart campaigns in KV Core, for example, or in Conversion Plus.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, you can segment out and then you can tailor the follow-up, but you only need 2 really good campaigns.
You only need 2 campaigns for all your leads in your database. It doesn't matter whether past clients, friends, value, market reports. It sets up everything you do makes everything simple. You don't have to have some special weird thing you're doing. It's one or the other. It's really easy. So let's go to the very beginning and understand. So what we're doing is we're saying, hey, before you call, I know something about this lead. I don't care about whether they're interested in a property, what property they're looking at. I know they're either one or another. And so what we're doing on the intro is we're doing what I call is an introduction where you're saying, nice to meet you. It's a diffuser. It allows the person to automatically say thank you back. So they may not want to call at that moment, but the nice to meet you changes the scope of the conversation immediately. Been using this in sales training for years. So Ryan, when I say nice to meet you, you're going to say back thank you, and you're thinking, what is this about? So I've opened up your mind mentally to engage me. Does that make sense?
It does, because we didn't rehearse this at all. And when you said nice to meet you, I didn't know what I was going to say, but I naturally just said thanks. So that's
exactly
what
right.
Yeah.
Just like if an agent met somebody in person, they would walk up and say, hi, I'm such and such agent, nice to meet you, and they would shake a hand. Okay? You cannot do that over the phone. This is what I call a handshake over the phone. And I have actual sales reps shake the air when they do it, so they're shaking their hand over the phone. Nice to meet you, and the response back is nice to meet you back. Okay?
Yeah, cool.
Secondly, the second phase, and as you see in the script training, we break down all of this and it's explained. The second phase is a statement of service. This is to promote reciprocity and value, which we talked about in the document we sent out. So when I said I'm in the process of I'm going to be doing something for you, Ryan, and I use the word I'm going, right? Be doing something for you. And I had a quick question, I'm going to let you go. So I have a statement of service. I'm going to do this for you. Okay? And then I have the setup, which is I have a quick question, I'm going to let you go. You're giving the person to say, I'm going to programming them to answer the question. So Ryan, I have a quick question, I'll let you go. I'm giving them what they want. What are they thinking back? Sure, no problem.
Yeah, you're going to let me go? I want to get off the phone.
Okay? This all works for a reason. It's all simple. Now, the corrective statement is the most powerful sales tool that everybody's listening in on. I didn't actually ask you a question. I said, you're a renter, right? And you're going to naturally, your brain is going to naturally correct me. The human cannot, they can't not do it. It's like NLP. So when you go to a fortune teller and they go and tell you your future, they're making corrective statements, and your body language tells them whether they're right or wrong. And they go, oh, you're really having a problem in your marriage. Oh yeah, you are. They just program you. So
Very cool.
I am programming the call. I'm programming the outcome on every single call.
Very cool. So yeah, this is, I really like this. I have a hack that I like to share just for entertainment value, but back in the day when I was a little less mature, I had this idea that you could randomly text people and say, hey Joe, here's the link to the properties we were talking about in the bar last night. I'm just giving you an example, but it would be like the wrong name in the text message. I probably shouldn't share this publicly, but the idea was that everybody's going to correct, and you start the conversation around you intentionally said the wrong thing.
So a corrective statement would be this. Ryan, I'm assuming that you've already been pre-qualified, you talked to a lender, and you've already got all that taken care of. You're set and ready to go, right?
Right.
No,
Yeah.
I haven't done any of that. Oh, really? Awesome. Hey, Ryan, thanks for coming to the bar. Hey, I saw you. Hey, Julie, I saw you in the bar last night. You know, you're a Capricorn, right? No, I'm a Libra. I like Libras. Instead of saying, what's your sign?
You give me pickup lines?
No, but the point being is that if you ask somebody a personal question, they're going to naturally put up a barrier.
Yeah. I got it. Brian, I'm
So
going to cut
don't
you real
ask.
quick. I had a question or two about how to access the PowerScript.
Sure.
I pasted the direct link to the one we have on the screen to everybody who's here live, and we'll make sure it's in the doc below the replay directly. And in the meantime, simply type scripts in when you click on the support portal in KV Core or Conversion Plus. Okay, Brian, I'll let you keep going.
Yeah. So it's all about the corrective statement, but that goes across all. And as they learn this simple thing, I did it a lot. So you're a renter, right? Yes, great. I do a special consultation for renters. You do list power analysis. You haven't done that, right? You see this notice of adding the right? Yes, correct. All you're doing is you're making the person answer without knowing they're answering. It's across the entire, but that's more complicated. Right now, what we really want to focus on is, I don't care how they get there. Nice to meet you. I'm doing something for you. Quick question, you're a homeowner, correct? Or quick question, you're a renter, correct? That's it. From that point forward, you know exactly, they're going to get the answer they want. They're a renter. This is what I do for you. You're a homeowner. This is what we do for you. That should be the starting point of every conversation. And
so
the goal of
this isn't too hard. I mean, you gotta get the corrective statement down. You can rehearse this, and then you really just know where you're going to go depending on the tree here, the renter, homeowner, or buyer.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
and it's so easy. And the thing about this, for agents, anybody can do this for any scenario. It doesn't matter. It's always the starting point to put them on the right path to use you. It's very, very effective. I have a couple other things, but let's answer some questions really quick because I want to go into emailing script on the same concept, and I'd like to make sure they also have a text the same way because they're going to ask those questions.
Yeah, so does anybody have any questions? I'm not seeing too many. They were mostly related to the docs. What's everybody think? Give us some feedback. Is there anything you want Brian to go into script-wise? Otherwise, we'll let him keep going. Okay, everybody seems okay today, Brian. No questions right now.
It's so simple. It's so easy. So what happens is, as you do this, it's a very simple approach. But now we're going to extend obligation scripting, which is here, leveraging obligation, which is on the same document. So obligation scripting is getting the person to be obligated to use you as an agent, no matter when they buy, Ryan. So obligating the consumer to use you rather than some other agent, and to get them to engage via email or text, along with, in script 2, as you see in the document, let's talk a little bit about this, okay?
Cool.
So obligation scripting is really about a simple process of changing your approach and how you communicate via email or text. So Ryan, I'm going to simply go through this in a way that will completely make sense, and it's very easy to do. So Ryan, typically an agent will ask permission to perform a task. So they'll email somebody with information. Hey, happy birthday, would da-da-da-da-da. Or, hey, would you like me to send you some information? That's a classic. Would you like me to send you some information on this house? Okay? The 33-touch KW stuff. I've went through all their emails. I've seen it all. Would you like this? Can I send you this? Those are asking permissions, and they're weak. They make the person, there's no reason for the person to respond. They don't have an obligation to use you. They can ignore you. Does that make sense, Ryan?
It does, yeah. You're asking for a no. Yep.
You're asking for a no. You're basically setting your guys' selves up to fail.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is obligate engagement. So the whole point of communicating with a lead, I said this to a coach yesterday, the whole point of emailing or texting or calling a lead is to find out intent. Okay? Not to give them information. The whole point is to find their intent so you can put them in the right bucket. Until you know intent, you know nothing. So let's go through an obligation script. I'm going to obligate you, Ryan, and we'll walk through it real quick. And this is a script that you email, okay, or a script you text. So Ryan, if I were emailing you, rather than say, hey, I saw you looked at this listing, would you like me to send you information? I'm just going to change 2 words, and I'm going to change it in a way that's going to obligate you, and you cannot respond. You have to respond, okay?
Yep.
Hi, Ryan. I noticed you looked at 123 Main Street. I'm going, highlight, explanation point. I'm going to put together some information on that listing. Would you like me to send that to you by Friday or whatever time?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, go ahead, send it.
So I'm going to do this for you, and I'm asking them to proceed, a permission to proceed. So the script is a statement of service, Ryan. I'm going to do something for you, and a permission to proceed. Here's what it does. Ryan, by saying I'm going to do this for you, would you like it done by this time? I've obligated you to respond. You have to respond. If you don't, you're rude.
Yeah, this is interesting. I'm thinking back when I was a lot younger, when I first started selling, I would offer. I was doing this not knowing the technique, but I would offer a hand-picked list of similar properties to what they're looking at, and I would just say, hey, I usually put together. I would phrase it as I usually put together a small hand-picked list for my buyers. Can you just tell me a little bit about what you're looking for? Kind of similar.
You're almost there. You're
Yeah.
getting that almost. So if you would have changed, I'm going to research and put together a list of properties for you. Would you like that by Friday? I don't have to send the list unless they respond. You would get a much higher response rate.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yep.
And so I'm going to do something for you. Would you like it done by Friday? I'm going to put together a list of open houses for next weekend. Would you like to look at any houses next week? I'm obligating them to respond by just changing 2 words. They will respond. Your response rate will astronomically go up on all emails and texts. And what's great is you're gaining intent. Yes, I would like to you to do that. I got you a deal, Ryan. Great, awesome. You're ready to go. I'd like to look at houses. I'd like you to do that for me. At that point, they've got reciprocity. They've hired you. Or they're going to go and say, no, Ryan, I'm not really in the market right now. Thank you. And they're going to tell you, like, they're going to barf and tell you why they can't take you up on the offer, or they're going to ignore you. Now, when they ignore you, they're being rude. I'm going to repeat that. Ryan, when they ignore you, they're being rude. So I'm creating emotional connection.
Got it. Can I bring up something that I know some people are thinking, and a little bit of I'm thinking a little bit back of my head. What do you say to somebody who says, well, this sounds a little pushy and salesy? You know, if an agent kind of reacts.
It never happens because
I would never talk.
Happens.
You know, if somebody's thinking in the background, this is not how I deal with people.
But they do, and it's doing your job.
Right.
It's never an issue. So when you make it, I'm going to do this around value. If it's a renter, I'm going to put together this list of things that renters need. If it's a homeowner, I'm going to put together a CMA for you. Would you like it done by Friday? It's just changing the word. It's not changing their approach, nor is it being pushy. If you now, this is really important, Ryan. If I said I'm going to put this to you and I'll have it to you by Friday, that's different. You have to do it now. If you don't, you're being pushy.
Yeah.
So it's a statement of service and a permission to proceed.
Yeah. Would you like it done by? I like it. Okay. And I like your you're doing your job, and really, guys, this is about making money. We're in business, so some of those hangups we might have about feeling pushy, that those are kind of things we need to work on, right?
You're not being pushy by saying I'm going to do some research for you on a list of properties. Would you like me to send that to you by Friday? You're not being pushy. You're actually, the person's going, wow, you're awesome. You're great. You'll get emails going, well, and then what will happen as you build this in and you start doing this, you'll get emails from people from 6 months ago that say, oh my God, thank you for all those offers. Here's what I like to do on high-end properties. Luxury, if there's any luxury agents in the room and they're $1 million plus properties, I love to write an email going, I'm going to research one of the listings you clicked on Main Street. I'm going to do a private video of that property. Would you like me to send that to you by the end of the week?
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to do the video. But if somebody is a high-end buyer that's going to look at $1 million properties,
and
they might say, if they say yes, you're getting a deal. Now, if they say no, that's not right, guess what? Next time they find a property that they like, guess who they're contacting?
Right. Hey, can you do a video for this one?
You offered me this. I love you. You're memorable. You're sticking. It's obligation. It's reciprocity. It's doing something. That's your job. And the reason that we're not getting business in real estate is we're letting people shop, pay less, self-shop. I'm just going to let them shop my website, look at listings, hope they come back. I'm going to call them every once in a while. And you're one of 10 other agents that are doing the same thing without creating any differentiator. And your only way to do that is a bunch of drip emails, and let's spam them to death.
So, Brian, that's a great point. So I just want to remind everybody, Brian does it a certain way. I'm going to prepare a list of properties. You can riff on this and come up with your own value statement, right? It's more
whatever matches the agent. It's just changing the wording.
Yeah. I'm going to do something. It's X, Y, Z. There's a number of things you can do. The easiest being take a property video, give more info, but there's lots of different things you can do.
It's just doing your job, and it's just changing the wording. It's not even complicated. We don't want to make it more complicated. It's very NLP, and it's not something that agents are really trained on. And the companies that sell products like this and the CRMs, they're kind of basing what everybody's been doing in the past, and we go down paths where it's not really conducive. Same thing with texting. I'm going to send a list out. Would you like me to send that to you? And it doesn't matter whether it's a text or email. The scripting and the reason behind it is the same.
Great. Great.
I know there's some hand raisers, so maybe we can.
Yeah, just some people, somebody saying great job. Angela's asking, she lost connection. She said, you said that you would get old leads responding. I think you teased something there. Did you get to that part yet?
Yeah, the old leads, so what we're talking about is lead CPR obligation scripting. So let's just, she's asking that question for the group. And what people get caught up with in agents is I have a past clients, friends, family, and they think that they need a separate approach for those just because they're in their sphere. They really don't. I mean, that sphere of influence have homes. They own homes. They are renters.
You might talk to them a little different. If they own a home, you go, you own your house, right? I mean, it's just,
So it's the same. It doesn't matter whether they're past clients, friends, older leads. In fact, if you think about this, guys, go into your database right now, pull up all the leads that are active in the last 6 months, and the majority of your deals that you can get are the people that aren't on the site that are older than 6 months. When you go into your CRM, what I have my ISAs and my teams and brokers approach is, Ryan, they don't even have their ISA call new leads because the way the system engages where we automatically tree up all those actives. What they have their ISAs do is they have their ISAs start calling leads that are older than 6 months, and they've doubled their results. Because just because they're not on your site today doesn't mean that they're not buying. They're on somewhere else buying. So what you really got to think about is how to do lead CPR. So leads that are very active, you can engage them like we're talking about. Leads that are old, that aren't engaging on your site anymore, you have to give them electric shock and have lead CPR. Ryan, I know we have a training. We actually have a follow-up training within the learning portal that you could probably put in the when we're done. You can add that to the thing around lead CPR. Okay.
That's in the learning portal?
Yeah, I believe when you what to do with your database, there's a whole section on how to follow up with your database when you have older leads. It's in the learning portal. But I don't want to get off topic for the subject. I just want everybody to understand. Yeah, get that into the thing. But essentially what you guys need to think about is lead CPR. So when you have your database of leads, we're doing obligation scripting for them. So you can go in here and imagine that these are older leads. Go back to the CRM.
Yeah. How do I sort those, Brian? Just so everybody knows. How am I
going to find them? You go up and you say, go into the filter.
Yep.
And you can come into here and you can go into say lead details or lead behavior if you want. So you can say on your lead behavior, you can pull up leads that have last received an alert, last open a marketing, last active. So you can create any type of list that you want. Once you've done that, you can tailor your messages around your CRM list. So in other words, last active this year, so you know they're older. Now once you pull them up, you filter it, right? Whatever you filter, save, you hit that apply filter.
Yep.
And then it pulls up your filter, and then you check a box. I know something about them, and you might say, hey, I noticed you haven't been active. I'm going to research additional listings.
Right. So you do a script here. Yep.
Yeah. And you send it out to 800 people.
Been on the site.
I'm going.
Okay. All right. You tell me exactly what's right. Hi. I'm going.
I noticed you haven't been on the site in a while.
Okay.
I'm going to research some of the older properties you looked at, send you some new actives. Would you like me to do that this week for you? Whatever, Same thing. Would you like me to do it by Friday? Would you like me to send that? I'm going to put together some hot buys in the market. Are you still looking? There's lots of different ways to go about that, right?
So I'm going to send that in a day or two. Tell me exactly what to say, because everybody's going to ask.
I would say I'm going to do that. Up here, I'd say I'm going to research this property. Would you like me to send that to you by the end of the week?
Would you like for me to send this list by the end of the week? Something like that.
You send that to 5,000 people, and then they're going to be upset because their email blew up with all these people responding.
Right.
You're just trying to get them to respond.
This is also, Brian, there's also potential here. I know your stance on drip campaigns. I share that too. But there is potential to put this kind of messaging toward the end of a smart campaign and have it automated.
Correct. Yeah. Even in the smart campaigns we do, the messages always can build on this. So if you want me to convey this to the group, we're just using obligation scripting. So for example, I can have campaign email one say, I'm going to do this. Would you like me to do it? Now I know whether they've responded or not. And then the next message can go, last 2 weeks ago, I sent you this message. I didn't hear back from you. I'm going to do this now. Any questions? And then the next message, hey, I sent you a message a month ago. I was going to do this, but now I'm going to do this. Any questions? And you can you could do a whole campaign over a year with obligation scripting. You'd be amazed on how the results can turn what they do.
Here's a good one that I use. I use a variation of, but I'm tweaking it based on your coaching here today. But basically, the offer a list of hot buys or real estate deals. You tease that you have this curated list that you put out every week for your investor clients.
Absolutely.
And it's okay to send it to them too.
But you tweak it to say, I'm going to put together a list of hot buys for my investors.
Okay.
It'll take me a day or two. Would you like me to send that to you by Friday? What agents make the mistake of is they just send stuff or they give them information. It provides no obligation whatsoever. So never ever send stuff. I'm going to do that for you. Would you like me to send you this stuff? And it'll change their entire approach.
Okay, how about this? All right, let me fix this. I'm going to be putting together a list of my favorite hot buys from my investor clients this week. Is that all right?
Yep.
Would you like for me to send that to you too, or something like that?
Exactly. It's great. Now, doesn't that change? How does that, Ryan? Looking at that, your exact approach, doesn't that read better?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm doing this thing. Do you want in? Kind of like.
Correct. And so you've done this a lot, and you've got a lot of great experience in doing this. And all I'm trying to say is there's nothing different than what anybody's already doing. You're just changing one word.
Yeah, but if I had met you years ago, I would have gotten better results because I knew nothing about this assumptive disclosing sales stuff. Yeah, it was all conjecture, you know. So these little tweaks, I can see how these little tweaks. If you get if you're getting say a 5% response to like a certain drip email, and you can take it to 8%, that really ripples through back to your GCI. Every little bit counts.
Every little, but it's not even 8%. It's like quadruple. It's going beyond anything you can imagine, to the point where I've done this in a mass email or mass text, to get agents appointments. Like I'll text the lead out something. I'm going to be showing homes this weekend. Would you like to look at any houses next week? And I'll send it to 500 people, and I'll get 180 responses in 15 minutes and 10 appointments.
Yeah.
So the reality. Yeah, go ahead.
There's a quick question. Can you hashtag everybody in that filtered group? And you can.
Yeah.
All you do is you check them all, and then you go to more actions. Add
you don't need to hashtag them. What's really cool about this, and we're getting into training, everybody asks that, and the answer to that is yes. But you can actually save your filters, so you can create targeted filters that stay live and active in the and they update like an MLS search on your active filter. So you could say, I want to have a filter for anybody that's bookmarked the property, which is my favorite filter, Ryan. So I could say I want to, and this ties on the scripting. So I want to create a filter that anybody that's bookmarked the property in the last 7 days. Okay, so
save the property.
And then I save that. Yeah, and then I save that filter, and what that does is that creates the name. And once I've named it, it updates every day based on who's on the site and who's active. So it's basically a hot list. Okay. Once I've saved that filter, I can go to that every day, and then I can apply the script, which is, hey, I'm going to put together a list based on I'm going to do something based on the property you just saved. Would you like me to send that to you? Or I'm going to schedule some showings for the property on 123 Main Street. You get where I'm going. It gives them a list that they can use this for across all levels, and then it helps them do this. And that way they're moving away from drip campaigns and blasting spam out to very targeted email scripting that they can do in mass and get way more reach and not have to be an expert on writing stupid emails.
The other aspect of this is that realistically, a lot of us go through peaks and valleys, and you get real busy with, you don't want to do this, but if you do end up with a slow week and you're trying to drum up business, this is perfect. You just go in.
I like to say Monday check-in. So what I tell my agents to do is every Monday is your lead check-in Monday. So happy Monday checking in, and you go through your filters once a week on a Monday, and you do a check-in. I'm going to do some things and checking in. Would you like me to send this to you? And it could be whatever filtering your leads rather than a drip campaign, because typically drip emails are going to be weekly or bi-weekly or monthly. What I like my agents to do is set aside Monday as a check-in to all their leads in their database. So they have them segmented based on their filter or tags, and then they have their scripting they're going to use to engage, and they just offer a different offer of some service they're going to do. I'm going to do this for you week. We're just saying, happy Monday, just checking in. I'm going to do some things. How's it going? And just send that out to 1,000 people every week.
I love it.
They're never going to get offended.
This is really cool. I mean, a lot of ideas are coming to mind, but I'm picturing going in Monday morning and say, hey, I'm thinking about doing a webinar with my lender partner about, FHA 203K loans this Wednesday. Do you want can I send you the registration link?
Exactly. And you'd be amazed at how many people It opens up an entire, it's not doing anything different than what an agent does. They do these things. I'm doing them. So rather than just barfing on people, you're saying, I'm going to do what I already am going to do. Would you like me to do it? It's that
And that's
simple.
and it's a sifter. And the people who reply, it allows you to focus for that week on the 10 people who reply, and you get one or two of them in the car looking at properties. Right?
It's the most effective things agents can do. When you talk to them, you're like, hey, great, thanks for calling, thanks for responding to my email. I'm doing some research for you right now. I have a quick question. You're a renter, right? Oh, you are. Great. It's
Cool.
like this is all one concept. It's one process that is very effective that any agent at any skill level can do, and it doesn't require any secret knowledge. It just is a different approach that I've identified doing this for 16 years and millions of leads that I know works really well. And that's how the behavioral emails work, Ryan. We do the behavioral stuff that everybody gets all like, wow, how come they respond or whatever. Well, those behaviors are doing a little bit of what we're talking about, but we've programmed the system to automatically do it.
Yeah. Awesome. Do you want me to move on here to the homeowner scripting? We're getting a little close to the hour here, so.
Yeah, we can talk. We kind of already talked about that via text discover they're a homeowner. There are no other types. We've already talked about all of these things. So this is just to be a recap of things we've already talked about.
Yep.
It's just that if we send this to them, they kind of have a way of presenting this to their teams or to their agents if it's a broker on the call or if it's an individual agent. This just recaps everything we talked about in a clear, understandable way to digest the concept. It's all here. So we've put together everything here in a trainable module, and I hope this has been very helpful for you guys understanding the history and why I've been using this for so long and why it works.
Brian, is this included in the agent success plan yet? I haven't. I'm not familiar. Have they built some of this stuff in there?
The only thing that isn't there is in the corrective statement. We really should create a module in the learning portal around this topic. This would be a great point of a way to start that process. That's why Annalisa started this today and had me come in. We're trying to build this out. This would be a great way to take this one content piece and really help agents with that.
So what I'm talking about, everybody, just so you know, is at the bottom left of your KV Corp dashboard, we have the learning portal. I was specifically mentioning the agent success plan, which I wondered if there were scripts in there. And what Brian's saying is we may actually split this out into a separate course in the learning portal. Is that correct?
It really is. It should be a separate course dedicated to just scripting. And I'm sure if you ask for feedback for people on the group, they would tell you they would want just a course around scripting. And you could add other things like ISA expired FSBOs, bring in an expert. I have my own topic around that, but just break a course on scripts would be very helpful, and I'm sure they'll give you feedback on that.
Great. So we are getting great feedback. Everybody let us know, would you like to see a course on scripting? We got great feedback from Jeffrey saying, great webinar, good pace, no fat. We try to do that and jump right in here. I hate jumping in. I dislike jumping into webinars where there's like 20 minutes of fluff and then 5 minutes of value. So Brian, thank you for coming on and just getting right to it.
Yeah, not a problem. And, for everybody, I know we're signing off right now. There's a lot of times when you're training, and you guys are all independent contractors, you're all salespeople, and you might have teams or agents. There's a listen in, it sounds great, and then tomorrow you don't do it, and you don't actually do it. Yeah. This is really easy to apply. So if you guys get off the phone with us right now, go into your database, pull up your leads, pull up whatever filter, I don't care, most recent active, and write an email or text to them as soon as you get off this webinar. If you don't do that, you'll never do it. And just say, hey, I'm going to do this for this week. Would you like this done? And I promise you, your phone will blow up. And you're going to go, holy cow. And I've literally done this, Ryan, in offices where brokers will say, Brian, I can't get results. I'm not getting leads. They're not good leads. And I say, I can get you 6 appointments in 5 minutes. And they're like, prove it. And I jump into their database and I send one text message out and their phone blows up. So stop blaming the
I'm going
lead.
one better on you, Brian. I'm going to tell you right. Yeah, I'm saying go into your calendar right now as I'm doing, and just, Brian said Monday. If you just put this on your calendar, send a powered script to a filtered list every Monday at whatever time works for you, 10 a.m. or something, right? And repeat that bad boy every Monday. It's a good way to follow up on this.
It'll change everything. And I'm just letting you know. I've done this. Stop blaming the leads. Stop blaming the quality. Stop it. They're all homeowners. They're all renters. They all have some intent to buy a house someday. You just want them to intend to do it with you. Stop the excuses. It's not the problem.
Awesome, Brian. Thank you. Anybody else have any other questions? It looks like we've got some feedback, all positive here, Brian. Somebody's definitely interested in FSBO scripting. We definitely need to work on that. FSBO's expired.
It would be the same approach, by the way, Ryan. Oh, you're a full sale by homeowner. I'm going to put together a list of potential buyers that are looking for non-MLS listings. Would you like, we can talk about that, Ryan. Yeah. I can go into that. It could be a future thing we do.
I'm going to put together the list of the 3 properties you're competing with the most right now, or that might get bought before your property. There's lots you can do with FSBOs there.
Yeah, we could talk about creating custom landing pages that are already pre-set up. So you call the FSBO and tell them you want to create a custom landing page and market it on Facebook. But before you do it, you take a video of the house. You go to the house, take a video of the FSBO with your phone. You pop it on a landing page, and then you send them an actual. You actually create the landing page and tell them what you're going to do to sell their house. And then once you get them on the phone, you show them the landing page and ask them if it's okay if you market their house. And you just create a marketing plan, or you put them on your pot listing on your site. There's so many ways to approach FSBOs. We could do a whole training around that.
Yep. There is a question here. What were you calling the CMA? Is it a listing power analysis or something like that?
Yeah, I love this, Ryan. I've gotten so much feedback from agents that change just that alone. List power. I've had agents email all of their leads and say, I'm going to do a list power analysis for you guys. Let me know when, would you like me to do that this week? And email 10,000, 5,000 people, and they'll get. I had a brokerage do this and got, I think it was 600 responses back, yes, out of their database, and something like 100 listing appointments.
Awesome. List power analysis is the term, Randy. Cool. Well, guys, we will get this recording rendered and live. We'll post it to the Facebook group, the YouTube channel. You can access all recordings at insiderealestate.com/webinars. And if you have any follow-up questions or comments, be sure to check out the Facebook group, Inside Real Estate Success Strategies. If you just search that in Facebook, you'll find it. The Facebook group is a great place to go for more stuff like this. And don't forget to check out the learning portal as well. Hopefully we'll have the course about scripting in there soon, but in the meantime, definitely go through the agent success plan. It's really good stuff. Anything else, Brian?
Thanks, guys. No, we're good. Just, good to be here, guys. Enjoy.
All right. See everybody later. Bye-bye.